Good morning, everyone. We are meeting after a few days, and I hope all of you are fine by the current situation. Okay. Today, our topic of discussion is. Style book. Now, you might be wondering what is a style book. Many a times. You might be wondering what is a style book, and many times, okay, let me give you some examples to come to the topic of style book. Fine. Those of you who are from Assam or even from India, various places, or even we have a foreign student, you might be also witnessing it sometime, not always, maybe. That, say for example, there is a title in Assam, Assamese, with the Assamese society, that is called Bhuyan, Bhuyan. Okay. This is written by, sometimes, not always, most of the times it is fine. Sometimes it is written in a different way by different newspapers or magazines, and especially in English. Similarly, we also have a very common title called Borua, but Baruah. Don't confuse it with Bora, Bora. That is also a different community. Borua. Those of you who are from Guwahati or even from Assam, you will be knowing that there is a college called B. Borua College, which is probably the second oldest college in Assam. Okay. Why I am saying about mentioning about this college is that there the Borua is written like this, Baroah. It was named after one person called Bhulanath Borua, who has donated, who was a famous businessman during the 1920s and 30s even, more than 100 years back. He has donated money for this college, and that's why it is called B. Borua College, Bhulanath Borua College. So you see this spelling, Baroah, Borua, and this spelling, Barouh. Then again, one day I came across another similar title. It is called Boruva, Baruva, Boruva. When I inquired with the lady, I mean, she's known to me. She's a fashion designer by the way. So she told me it's same with, I mean, the community is same with Borua or Borua, but they write it in this way. Okay. Then again, there's another person I met in Guwahati University. He also writes Baruwa, Borua. Okay. Now, when you write or when you have different names, different spellings for the same meaning, it leads to confusion and it leads to inconsistency. You are not being able to give the similar kind of treatment to that word to the people, and people will be confused which one to follow. Okay, then again, in Assam we have Ahom Sahitya Sabha. It is a most important literary body in Assam. Okay. Ahom. Now, normally the term of Assam is technically or officially name is Assam, ASSAM. Many people you like to use this, you like to write like this, ASOM, Ahom. But here, Ahom Sahitya has taken up this term. AXOM, Ahom Sahitya means to mean Sahitya, to mean Dantya, those of you who are Assamese will understand X. Fine. Now, some people also, I mean, many times others also write Assam Sahitya Sabha. Okay. Don't you feel this is confusing? This is the case with many other such issues, not necessarily only related to these few things. So, don't you think this is confusing? It is confusing as well as it leads to inconsistency. Fine. Today you will be writing one spelling, the same particular newspaper will be writing Borua to mean the same thing, and tomorrow it will be written as Borua in different way. Okay. Then the name of this district in Upper Assam and the town called Sibsagar, which we in English we call Sibsagar, but actually it is Shivasagar, Sivasagar. Then we say Kukradhar, which is the headquarters of the British area, but it is Kukarajhar actually. Okay. Then we call it Dhubri. Nowadays we write as Dhubri, the place, the district and the town in Lower Assam, in Western Assam. But actually it is Dhuburi, Dhuburi. Okay. This is one example of how you write different newspapers, or the same newspaper at different moments of time tend to write something in a different manner. Then again, in terms of our politicians or learned people, renowned people, what terms should we use? Mr. President of India, Mr. Prime Minister, or simply Prime Minister of India, or Prime Minister Modi, Prime Minister Bajpayee, President Kovind, or suppose with a judge, Honorable Justice, Honorable Vice Chancellor. How do we use? How do we use the terms of honors or salutation to a particular person who is a prominent person in the society? Okay, and so all these things, and what kind of English we will use? Nowadays, like dollar is the currency. Dollar is available, used by many countries. In Singapore also you have Singapore dollar, that is called Singapore dollar. Then in Canada you have Canadian dollar. Australia also uses dollar. America is the main country where dollar is being used. But all of them have different standards and connotations. Standards means, they are monetary, what is called space and monetary value. Okay. Now, how do we use different connotations or different terms to mean something and to maintain consistency in our writing? Or in very simple terms, what is the style that particular newspaper or magazine will use while disseminating or writing information for its target audience? That is style book. Style book. Okay. Or many times it is also called style sheet also. Actually, style book is a compilation or collection of each and every specific aspects of the language, the use of terms, language, use of terms, use of honors, use of language, etc. about one particular news item. Actually, I was giving the example of dollars. What I want to say is that actually what I wanted to refer to was that nowadays we have different kinds of English. You have originally we had British English, where English is the Britain is the origin of the English language. Then we have American English, which is slightly different. Then we have Indian English. Nowadays many people are also saying there is English and Hindi mixed up, and now I think in future we'll be having also English mixed with Assamese. Now, style book will also specify what kind of English you will use, the British English, the American English, or a mix of them, etc. Okay. And not only that, I have found that I have studied a few of the style books of established organizations. They also have details about how their journalists will cover a specific event, whether it is a sports event, whether it is a financial event, or any event. The procedure also they have written. What can be presented, what cannot be presented. Even they have also, the standard ones have also specified that how their journalists will behave or conduct their business while talking to sources. For example, in USA, it is written in their contract as well as in a style book that if you are going to meet a source for any important news or any kind of news you are going to report about, suppose your source says that okay, you let us meet for dinner. In USA and Western countries, meeting for dinner or tea or lunch to discuss something, some business is a common practice. Not here much, but there it is common practice. There, if you are going to talk to your source over any important issue and you are meeting the source for dinner or tea, even high tea, etc., you are supposed to pay your portion of the bill yourself, so that the person you do not owe or you do not have a favor to that person. Because if you are having dinner or if you are having food for the other person or even a gift from the other person or your source, that means you have an obligation to return to him. So that may affect your writing of the story in his favor. That is why style book is very necessary. But problem is in smaller newspapers or those which are not very prominent, they usually do not much bother about style books. I worked in Sentinel. There it was not exhausted, but a few pages of style sheet was there, which was prepared by the founder editor of that newspaper, Mr. Dhirendra Bezburua. It is not exhaustive, but not like you cannot compare it to Reuters or Associated Press, but it was a good one. Okay. In Assam Tribune, they did not have, right? And in Assam Tribune also, this inconsistency used to be there to some extent, like the ones which I have given. Okay. That is why even spellings, manner, proper nouns, how would you use proper nouns, etc. Name of places, salutations, honors, I have mentioned already. All these things are given in a style book. For example, as most of the organizations have their own style books, yet the one which is prepared by Associated Press of USA. Associated Press is a news agency which supplies news to news organizations. Associated Press style book is the most comprehensive, and it is supposed to be the Bible of all newspapers or magazines. Okay, it is available freely. So just go to the websites, or just search in Google platforms, internet platforms. You will find it. At least the soft copy, you will find it. Even if you do not find the entire copy, at least some ideas you will get. And Reuters also, I think once or twice I found Reuters handbook in the web freely. Okay, I will try to pass it on to you. So it may seem to be a very trivial issue for many people, that why should we much bother about names, what is there in a name, etc. But to maintain consistency and to adapt to new things which will keep coming in future, style book is very important. And style book is always a dynamic activity or dynamic document. It will whenever new developments keep coming, new things will come up for our usage, then the style book will contain all those things in future. Okay. So from your I forgot one thing to tell you. Even the font, I think all of you know what is a font. Font is the what is it called, size as well as type of the uh, text which is used, the alphabet or words which is used. There are different types of fonts, but usually Roman, New Roman, or I think New Roman, or this one is most popular for us. But in all newspapers, many a times they may not be using the same type of font always. So that will also come under style book. Then, well, I mean, how do you divide the columns? Many years back, around 20 years back, Hindu used to have only 6 columns instead of 8 columns. 8 columns is the norm for standard system for all newspapers now, even from our earlier days. Earlier, Hindu used to have 1.5 times columns of this. I mean, in place of 8 columns, they were divided into 6 columns. It used to give a different look to the newspaper. And at the same time, they did not go for Hindu was not a color newspaper earlier, but at the same time they changed everything, and they have utilized the 8-column style, as well as they have also started using color newspaper. Okay, so finally, this is a style book, and this is very important to maintain consistency and similarity always for the newspaper readers. Fine. This is very important, and you have to stick to it always when you join a newspaper or magazine in initial days, and after some time it will become a practice to you. I mean, it will become common practice for you, so that you will be able to utilize it properly. So go and have a look at what is a style book and why we should use it, etc. And try to find out, this will be an assignment to you, try to find out the differences in what is it called, the use of terms, etc. for different newspapers. All newspapers will have different ones. See, yeah, let me tell you. This reminds me, there are some specific design firms which specialize on designing newspapers or magazines, etc. When Hindu has gone for this new makeover, the design changeover in design, they hired one very prominent Italian firm for doing it. I forgot the name. I kept those. They gave the story in the newspaper. I kept that newspaper for a long time, but now I lost it. It's a very specified job, specialized job of designing a newspaper, and that also comes, some of the designs also comes under this style books perspective. Okay. And next, except Hindu, I have not come across any other newspaper which have taken the pains for going to such prominent designer parties for changing their design layover or makeover. Okay. Well, this is very simply what is a style book. Just keep this in mind, that Associated Press style book is the most important, most interesting one and most effective one, and Reuters is also quite a good one. Okay. Now we slightly shift to one or two articles which I came across yesterday and day before yesterday. There is a write-up here, Notebook. It was Notebook. It was published in Hindu's April 30 issue, very recent. Okay, here I have probably mentioned about this column earlier, so it's not given always. Sometimes it is given. One particular journalist has has written about how what kind of challenges they do face while they go for covering uh, news items at the times of difficult periods. Say, for example, now Corona you were referring to. There are several things here. One is your obligation to duty. Your obligation to duty. Journalism is your duty. You have to go and look for Corona issues, Corona patients, and write about it. But at the same time, you are also facing the dilemma. You are also facing two dilemmas here. One very important dilemma is that you are seeing, I mean, at a ground level, if you are going to a hospital to cover COVID situation, you see that people are suffering in a very bad manner, but you are not being able to help. And many a time, people also do ask you for help, but you are not being able to help them. That is a dilemma. Unable to help. Second dilemma is that you are also endangering your life. Fine. The moment you are going to the hospitals or the mortuaries to report about this disease, COVID-19 disease, you are also exposing yourself to that problem. Exposing yourself to the disease. Okay. Now, thirdly, if you are exposing yourself, suppose you also contract the disease while you go for reporting, then you are also going to be a carrier of the disease to your close family members. Okay. And it is expected that all human beings live with their families. It may be immediate family, their parents, etc., etc. And if you are in a joint family, which usually doesn't happen nowadays, mostly, that in that case, if it is a joint family, there will be so many people you are endangering. Now, first of all, you are unable to help the people. Such a hopeless situation, despite people begging you to help. Of course, helping people is not your job, but at least it would have been better if you could have helped. Then you are exposing yourself to the risk. And if you are exposing yourself to the risk, you are also exposing your close family members to the same disease by going for the reporting. On the other hand, you also have an obligation for your duty. Being a journalist, you can't say that I won't go because there is a risk of life. Even if it is war or any other such difficult issues, you have to go. Right? So, how journalists face mental trauma as well as difficulties while going for reporting under such circumstances. Now, let me go to something else. Here, there is an article to stop it hard wave India has to mask up. The person who has written it, he is adjunct associate professor at the University of Hong Kong and the writer of stories, various articles, and he is also a communication advisor to World Health Organization. So whatever he says is important, definitely. Try to read this article, or I will send it. I will make a photograph and try to send it to you. What he says is that there is no alternative than to wearing masks. But he has also said something important here. That a person from say US University University of Yale University, which is very prominent. One person, he is from Bangladesh originally, and he has done a study in Bangladesh of around several lakhs of people, 350,000 adults in 600 villages of Bangladesh. There he found that a good publicity material, and just a minute. There he has found, I mean, out of the extensive survey, he could find out that mask usage has gone up very highly after intervention or after interference or after action from several different organizations. Masks were given free to the people, and there was well-designed instructional material. Have you seen the instructional materials or manuals in consumer companies? They say when you buy a computer, when you buy a computer, when you buy a TV set, you will find that there are some manuals which ask you how to keep it, how to utilize, use it, etc. So when you are giving a mask, you also should give an instruction material about how you use it. But most important thing is that there were reminders from various religious and community leaders about the need for wearing the mask. Now, how much feasible are these activities? I also personally believe that a good instruction, a properly designed instruction material is important for any activity, whether it is using mask or whether it is using proper behavior, indulging in proper behavior. And he has also said, and I also agree, that policing or coercive activities or coercive measures cannot make people do something. It has to be made to, they have to be made to understand about its importance, and that way the well-designed material will help, and some kind of intervention from the community or social or religious leaders will be important. But there is a catch here. How much religious influence should we use, or should we use it at all or not? Okay. I think all of you will be having a different opinion in this regard, but I believe religious leaders should be used. I mean, everything has a good side, everything has a bad side. Okay, negative, positive. We should try to take the maximum positive advantage out of everything. So even in our country, why don't we try to rope in or involve the community leaders or religious leaders to some extent to make people understand the importance of using masks also. Now in Assam, those of you who are from Assam, we have namghars, which are actually not very, I mean, you can't say that a namghar is a very communal place. I mean, it's a very open place. I mean, there is a belief that only Hindu people can go to namghar, but it is open to anyone. And namghars are usually not that much, I mean, very, say, hugely religious or very sharply religious organization. It is a common place for meeting of the villagers, and usually villagers meet there for mainly chanting religious things, but religious names, religious practices, but not very prejudiced. For if the namghar leaders, the people who are managing the namghars, they say something, there is a possibility that a lot of people will listen to. Similarly, all the religions, established religions, can be roped in and requested to keep the word, I mean, spread the word about anything, not only in case of corona, for any good practices. Because you will be surprised, and you are young adults, you may feel that religion should not be utilized many times, and religion is a bad effect, bad issue in our society. But you know, even in Western countries and our countries, it's inevitable that ultimately religion has a lot of importance on people, even though it is going down to some extent. But at the same time, it's an irony that it is also the impact is also there to a big extent. Okay? So if we can utilize the same, I mean, the influence for a good cause, why not we try it? Fine. Of course, we have to be very cautious in this regard, so that the effect of influence do not go beyond a certain area, so that I mean, it doesn't deteriorate, or it doesn't degenerate or deteriorate into something else. Okay, so these are one things, and I mean, for the sake of the mankind or our lives, we should try to encourage, or we should try to utilize all possible measures or all possible avenues for educating people. Okay. And more importance, I mean, the more influence you can gather from, you can exert from any organization or any establishment, the better. Okay. So we will finish it here today. We have spoken about style book, and we have spoken about the communication issues which can be utilized from religious or social community level point of view. This is important, and at this level we can only talk to you or give a demo, give a lecture to you, but you'll have to look for such examples on your own. Fine. And again, nowadays we have self-help groups, then there are so many other religious or financial groups, etc., made for financial purposes, etc., etc. These self-help groups, or say financial groups, or bandhan groups, etc., etc. This can also be utilized for spreading the good word among the people. Okay. And again, in Assam, and I think in India also as a whole, we have ASA workers associated. I don't remember associated Society of Health agencies, or workers, etc. ASA Karmis, which we say. Each ASA Karmi is responsible for one particular village or one particular area of a village. They get a minor remuneration, and they get some incentives for taking care of, keeping in touch about people, pregnant women, or women's issues, etc., and taking the women to say health center for proper care, and even pre-delivery or during the period of pregnancy, what kind of care the women should be given. These ASA workers are supposed to be taking care of. So they can be also utilized for such practice. Right? Yes. And you see, this is word of mouth advertising or word of mouth publicity, and we tend to believe somebody who is close to us rather than somebody who is distant from us. So ASA workers, local village or village community, or the religious community locally available leaders, they will be more effective in this regard than anyone else. This is my conviction. Okay. So these are some issues. Please go through them, recapitulate, and also go and look at the style book of Associated Press and Reuters. I think Reuters, I'm not sure whether it will be available online or not, but somebody probably has sent me a handbook of Reuters, so I'll try to send it to you. Okay, thank you very much. Enjoy your life, as well as keeping up or keeping in touch all the precautions, all the